Hey everyone, welcome back to Priyanka On Air. I'm Priyanka, and in this tech series, we will talk about technology, careers, and real insights from people working in the industry. Today's episode is especially for anyone curious about UI UX design, whether you are a student or fresher or someone planning to career switch. This episode is especially for you. Our guest today is Sakshi, a hybrid UI and UX designer who has worked not just on visually appealing interfaces, but on usability, user experience, and production level products. In this episode, we'll talk about UI UX roadmap, essential skills and tools, the Dubai job market, the impact of AI on designs, and what it really takes to grow as a designer in today's industry. So let's get started. Hey Sakshi, thank you so much for joining us today. It is such a pleasure to be here with you.
Hi, Priyanka. Same here. Thank you for inviting me.
So Sakshi, can you please introduce yourself and share your journey into UI UX?
So I'll just start like it's been 10 years, a little more than that.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
into this field. I started as a UI designer, so I'm a communication design graduate, and but luckily I entered the industry when UI UX was booming in. So I started as a UI designer, and gradually I understood like UX is equally important. So I turned my focus and after a year or two after joining UI, so I'm into UX. And yeah, I'm doing both now.
That's amazing that it was booming in at that time. Okay, in
Yeah.
real projects, what does a UI UX designer actually do from start to finish?
Just to like answer, I'll make you understand what is the UI and what is UX. So UI is the aesthetics or what you see on screen, how beautiful it is, and all the visual part of it. But that is the end of anything. If you have to reach that place, you have
Right.
to start with the UX, and it starts with empathizing, the very first step. So you empathize, and then you understand what you are solving,
Hmm.
and you put your feet into the shoe of a user. You understand, you empathize, then then you decide on the solution. So it comes with research, and the good part about designing is it's the process is iterative.
Right.
So you can jump anywhere, like you can start from step 1, 2, 3, and then after 3 you realize no, something was missing, you can go back, do your
Right.
research again. So you do all the logical thinking, all the basics research, and when you decide on the flow, you decide on the user journey. Oh, these are my screens, a user will flow like this. At the end comes the UI. So yeah, so this is what a UI UX designer do. They empathize, they literally do the user interviews, they do stakeholder interviews, and they do their own homework, comes up with a very a solution which is very user friendly, simple to understand.
Right.
And yeah, then comes the UI part of it.
Yeah. So you have already explained like what is a UI design, what is a UX design. But as a beginner, how would you explain the difference between UI design, like you have done, like the visual representation? Okay, UX design is more about empathizing. And what about the UI development? How do you do it?
Development. So UI development is not our job. It's completely different. So we do the designing part.
Mhm.
And when you say UI development, it is the engineering side of it.
Okay.
So the good part about designers are we work hand in hand with the project manager. Anything which is starting, any product we are trying to build, or any feature we are trying to build, we work with product manager. We
Right.
do everything, and then we work with developer, I would say. So they do the coding. So it's like
Right.
we provide them, okay, this is what needs to be
Mm.
done.
Right.
This is the screen, this is the button, this is the flow, header, footer, everything. And then the developer comes and they do all the coding part of it. So usually designers don't do coding.
Yeah. So it's more kind of front end developer part.
Front end development, yeah.
Okay. So as someone with a hybrid like UI UX profile, how do these two roles complement each other in your day to day?
I would say it's good in terms of how we say full stack developer.
Right.
So it's same for the design also. So I've been like lucky in doing that because, as I mentioned earlier, like I start my work or I start any project, any brief coming from my stakeholders. So I start from step zero,
Right.
which is talking to the product managers, understanding the requirement, talking to the users, getting and trying to understand what they exactly want, because sometimes they themselves don't know what they want. We have to meet them, like by cross questioning. We try to understand, open their mind, like what exactly they want. So this is the initial part of it. Decide on the solution, or when you think on solutioning, we do basic wireframes. And to make you understand, wireframes are nothing but a skeleton on how the final result will look like. So we decide on the hierarchy, okay, information hierarchy. Okay, this is how in a screen this will look like the button will be here, the drop down will be here, and etc. Whatever we decide on, after this it's like I am into the process. Now if I also have that sense, or I've been good in visual designing, so I can do the rest of the part also. In many industry, or a big product based industry or service based industry, there are divisions now because people are evolving, industry is evolving. So because the UX part takes a lot of time, so just to cut short the time and everything, we have dedicated resources which do like separate UI and separate UX. But if you do both, then it's good for the industry, I would say. In one salary they are getting two.
Right. Right. That's true.
It's a good profile.
Yeah, that's true.
But to be honest, if I have my own company, I'll try to keep both resources different, because you need a set of developers who are very dedicatedly working on research part and doing everything before the aesthetics and beautification.
Yeah.
And there should be a very dedicated set of designers who just work on these work.
Thank you so much for the detailed answer, Sakshi. Okay. What does the ideal roadmap look like today for someone who wants to become a UI or UX designer?
I would just say that I personally feel, that's my opinion. Like, if anybody thinks of being a designer, of course, they should, by themselves, they know like how creative they are or how good in logical thinking they are. People are more intelligent in thinking or knowing what exactly they want to do, like the UX or the UI part of it. That's my personal opinion. Any fresher or any student who's in college, they should have a small seed inside them of creativity, visual creativity, aesthetics, the sense of aesthetic. So if they have even the basics of it, we can improve it, right? But if you don't have and you say, okay, now I'll be a UI designer, I think it will be little difficult. So that's the part when you decide on something, I want to be UX or UI. After that is just, I feel you should get that sense of empathy. Sense of empathy is very important. Just forget about or stop focus on which tool or how the solution will look like. Just try and focus more on the user's problem, and then think of how to solve it. To give you more answer how a roadmap looks like, just take one project, real project of a issue, and try to rethink of a solution or a better solution. So do all the basics. Empathize, understand, ideate, and then present. And then yeah, learning tool is of course you need. Without that you cannot build anything. So yeah, Figma is one of the tools which we use like majorly now. There were a couple of other tools we were using in past, but currently Figma is on the top notch. So if you talk about tool, then learn one tool.
Yes.
Don't about solutioning, pick up one project, pick up one real problem, try to solve it, put your feet into the shoes of a user.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for the answer. Okay. Which design fundamentals should beginners focus on? How should they start learning the fundamentals?
There are a lot of laws. Like theoretically, I say there are, for example, Gestall's law. So they have couple of principles which UX designers should think of. It talks about The spacing, it talks about the proximity, it talks about balancing, it talks about the rhythm of the design, negative and positive spacing. So there are a couple of laws. You when you think of any solution, you should think of all these principles. So these are the basic things of on logical understanding. And if you're providing any solution, you should rethink why this, because there can be multiple solutions for one problem. Picking up the right one is the thing. And that comes with the experience, of course. But in a very for a fresher, I was very new from the college and new in the industry, I would say just try to focus on few principles. As I said, this is one example. Like there are many others.
Right.
Spacing, logical thinking, all these things, and then of course learn the tool so that you can present their solution.
Okay, so tools you have already mentioned. First of all, the Figma is the most important tool at the moment. Or are there any technical skills which are like must learn for UI UX designers right now?
So for us, technical skills are these the fundamentals, the basic fundamentals of designing, which is the layouting, the hierarchy of information, the information architecture. You must have seen site maps, right? So site maps are similar to information architecture. So these are the fundamentals, the user flow diagrams, whatever I'm saying are the basic fundamentals. These are the technical things which a designer needs to understand before reaching to a solution. Whenever I say solution, it's about, okay, this is the screen, this will be the header, and this button will go here. This No, I'm not talking about that. Coming to that, before coming to that, you need the information hierarchy. You need to understand which page or which screen will have what all things and sequence wise. So these are the basic fundamentals for anything like logical thinking. Why we need to put this on this place itself, why not left side, why not right side, all those things. I mean, any designer, they should not get overwhelmed by all this, because many things comes with the experience. Because over a period of time, I learned to solve one problem, there can be 2 to 3 solutions. Picking up the right one is the thing which comes with the experience, not like just.
Thank you so much for that. Okay, do you think the basic coding knowledge is important for UI UX designers? Or, like, why or why not?
I would say it's good to have,
Okay,
but it's not mandatory.
that's true.
Because when you talk about earlier, if I say 10 years back and exactly when I started my career, that time UI developers were doing the designing also. But luckily, the industry understood they need separate roles. So design schools are different. Technical schools, engineering schools are different. Yeah, I've seen my couple of friends who are developers, but then they did a post graduation degree in UX. So they have a basic knowledge of not a basic, like they have knowledge of development, and now they are doing the UX. So UX is nothing, the logical thinking. So this combination goes very well with each other. But a UI designer having development knowledge is good to have, because sometimes they know the possibility of what can be developed, what cannot be. I will be wrong in saying there shouldn't be like there should be zero knowledge, but also over the period of time, now I can understand what is possible to develop, what is not possible to develop in a time. Everything can be done first of all, because now we have crazy developers. They can develop amazing websites and amazing looking with the good experience, but it all comes with time constraint. So there should be a good combination of a designer understanding and agreeing on compromising if something cannot be developed. But here comes a catch. Sometimes what happens when you have a deep knowledge of development, while deciding on solution, your mind restrict yourself. Oh, let's not think, no, this is not possible, because I don't we don't development team don't have time, or we have to deliver it. So
Yeah.
not this solution, let me give this solution. What happens, your option A was the best for the users, but you are not choosing them, but you're choosing plan B, option B, just because you have a little or more knowledge of development. And that's very common. It restricts your mind sometimes. So it's like pros and cons. But I think a basic understanding is good to have. But you have to think in a very creative mind. So just keep your development side aside. Just
Right.
think the best, then go and talk to developer, trade off, and
I actually completely agree with you on that, Sakshi. For example, how can fresher with no prior experience can start a career as a UI UX designer?
so, if we talk about anyone who wants to pursue their career in UX or the UI design, or very simple language in design, so there are many colleges available in India and outside India now. So
Right.
after their 12th, they can choose and give the entrance for, and there are common entrances for like, there is this college, National Institute of Design. So there's uh, common exams, there are university exams, so they can do that. uh, but if somebody who is also, who is done with their graduation, for example, and not from design, but they feel like change their career in designs. I'll give you an example. There's a friend of mine, she was doing BA in psychology, and now she is doing postgrad in UX. So I feel it's a very good combination, because UX is all about understanding the users, and she has a background of psychology. So whenever she will do, the direct user interview, she can understand, she can relate things.
Yeah.
So anything which matches your previous knowledge or previous background, and then doing a postgrad in design,
Right.
um, yeah, it's good. So there are many colleges like IIT is offering design courses. Then there is NIF. Then there is National Institute of Design, which is in Ahmedabad, and there are a couple others. So you can do that.
Thank you so much for giving us knowledge about the colleges. Okay, apart from the college degree, so if someone is doing some certification in UI or UX design, is it like possible for them to get a job? Like they can start the career as a UI or UX designer?
Just imagine, you're doing a whole soul 3 years of learning, and then that you're doing a crash course.
Yeah.
So your crash course can be a revision for a designer or who is in the industry. But getting a job, okay, to answer that, first of all, I'm not in the favor of doing a certification, trying to get job in a design industry, which is like, I feel very disrespected when people do that. Because there are colleges who are offering, or students who have been, learning design in depth. I've spent 4 years, and there are a couple of them who spend 3 years, 4 years, and then they do postgrads. So just imagine, if industry there is these courses, and then there's a crash course,
Yeah.
the credibility is questionable. um, I'm not saying that they cannot design. There can be amazing designers as well coming from there, but that's the depth of knowledge which will have by the person who has been, from the college and from the crash course, will differ, definitely. So there are couple of even the colleges offers like these type of certifications or crash courses, 3 months, 2 months, but it's no, I don't feel like, it's my personal opinion. I will definitely hire somebody who has at least 2 years degree,
Okay.
because in the course they also offer industry exposure, so they go get into the industry, do the real job internship, and then they come, like then they get into companies and into the jobs and everything. But just on crash course, no.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for that. Okay. What kind of projects should freshers include in their UI UX portfolio to stand out?
To stand out, yes. So very important is the process. So
Okay.
whatever the process I mentioned you earlier, in your portfolio, the very first thing is Just whatever you are solving, it should be seen by the recruiter.
Okay.
So first of all, whatever problem you picked, so the best thing, pick a real problem or anything which design. For example, I don't like earlier I remember in back in my days, railway website.
Okay.
It's the most used website, but it was pathetic. The UI was pathetic, the UX was pathetic, but
Yeah.
people were using because that was the government website
Yeah.
to book tickets and all. And it's same in other countries as well, like government websites. So you pick the real problem, just challenge it. Do your research, finalize on which group or the focus group you are choosing to solve the problem for, and do the entire process without thinking of the end result. And of course, end result is important for your portfolio. That is what the customer sees. But if you put the entire process, the entire case study, it is easier for a recruiter to understand what
Right.
you as a designer understands. And it's
Yes.
not just picking up or googling what is the trend 2025, 2026, and etc., and you're just copy pasting, because there are a couple of inspiration websites like Dribble and Behance. There are concept screens you can find, so those are just concept. We don't I mean, any recruiter don't want that. We need the depth of it, from where you are coming. So from where you're coming, the entire process is very important. So put one or two projects, just put the solid ones.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the amazing answers. Think like which you have mentioned, like government websites. Most of the people in the country are using, but they're facing a lot of issues, they're still using it. So I think this is the best project to showcase in your resume to stand out. Or something
Yeah.
maybe related to this, or some other websites which are like people are using but they're still facing the issues. I think this can impact the hiring manager. They can understand where you are coming from and what you want to build in the future.
So I would say, like, one case study, the existing problem, as we talked about. The other, you can have innovative idea of something, like a very new idea which nobody thought of.
Yeah.
So just present that. So this will help both the parties. The designer to unblock many creative block which was blocking inside. So you can think sometimes beyond your limits, or beyond, because the good part about being a fresher is you have zero constraints.
Right.
About industry, about your client, because you are the client, you are everything. Like you are so free in thinking creative. So if you are trying to be like thinking about something new, or solving a problem as a pioneer or something, so that is the best exercise you can do to yourself, because as soon as you enter the industry, you have to follow that company's process, that company's design team's process. You have to think from client side. So there might be sometimes you don't find things correct as a design perspective, but if clients need it, after many trade-off, you have to compromise some or the other way. You have to limit yourself to, maybe sometimes you have to compromise on design because of many reasons. But as a fresher, you have the entire canvas is empty. Just put your best foot. So these two projects can go like really best for them to put it in their portfolio. Yeah.
I completely agree with you. Thank you so much for that. What are the most common mistakes beginners make while building portfolios or applying for the jobs?
Nowadays I'm seeing the trend is having a portfolio as a website. So here, like, I can contradict on that. As for example, I am from the UI, very UI specific background. So giving a very flashy website of mine can work, and somebody who's not from the design background will say, wow, this is so good, beautiful and all. But me as a recruiter, I want to see your job. Like,
Yeah.
I want to see this case study. So make it little simple, not so flashy. So even if you have your own website, don't make it dancing, like put a lot of animations and a lot of space in, because currently I'm seeing that when I look for freshers website, like freshers portfolio, they have one case study or the two case studies, but they have the entire thing apart from that, which actually annoys, because I want to see the main content. Everything else gives a good feel. So make it decent, but not flashy. So this is one thing which they. I mean, nowadays it's getting very common. So yeah, just don't do that.
To be honest, yeah, I think not only the designers, the other people like front end developers, back end developers, or QAs, they're also creating, the website portfolios. You won't see the basic content or the main content, what kind of projects they have worked on, but you have to open the whole website and then you can see multiple elements.
No, I mean a recruiter who wants to recruit like even three designers, they go and see 100 200 candidates. They don't have time to open and scroll. And yes, adding to that, sorry, your bio should be very strong. And it
Yes.
should not be a letter.
Hmm.
It should be like one paragraph,
Yes.
more like little more than that, and it should be very cut to cut what you want to say. It differs from fresher till the experience, like what I was writing when I was like first year or zero experience. My bio was different. It was more from what I want to learn and what I like to do or what I want to solve. As you grow, it changes over the period of time, but it should be very concise.
Right.
So your writer and then their project and what you're good at. Also, I feel giving extra knowledge of what you do apart from work should be like a very last thing to put in your resume as a experienced designer. It can work for a fresher because that gives a sense of energy, like okay, this guy likes to do this as well. So but not, it's good to have information, not mandatory to put. So just give the information which is very necessary and which gives answer about what you know, or what you willing to know, or what you want to learn.
Yeah.
Also, one more thing you can any fresher can put, if they should also have that zeal to learn something new.
Yeah.
Everybody should have. But if your resume gives a feeling, okay, I am the best. Me as a recruiter, I'll be like, there can be many who can hire, but for me, I want somebody who's open.
Yeah.
1 year experience, 5 year, 10 year, open to learn and ready to take the criticism. So okay. Yeah.
Okay, I do agree with you on that. Okay, how's the job market, okay, for UI UX designers in Dubai, especially for freshers or junior designers?
I think for freshers and juniors is very good. Frankly, that is my experience because 5 years back when I was looking for a job, um, so as compared to other regions, and if I talk about India or Europe, it's very different in Middle East. In Middle East, it's still developing and getting mature. Of course, it got matured when I was looking in 5 years back and now, but it's a little difficult for the experienced or senior profiles, but it's very good for the junior ones, and it's best for the people who have 2 to 5 or 6 years of experience.
Okay.
It's the best. You will get a lot of opportunities, and sometimes it's like they ask for 6 years, but if you read the JD, it's of 3 to 4 years experience job. It is competitive, but this block of 2 to 6 years, it's a good market.
That's really nice. Market for freshers and juniors is really good. What specific skills or profiles are most in demand for UI UX designer, especially in Dubai today?
So, what exactly needed in the profile is you should be very up to date with the tool. Of course, there were many tools before I was working on, and on job, I've learned the tool Figma also. But if you are just entering the market or you are a new or you're experienced, just be updated with the tool. If it's good to have that knowledge because that is one thing you use on a daily basis. For example, I lately I'm working for fintech. So I should be very up to date with the trends and new experiences which is being offered in the industry. Be very much aware about the competitors' applications or websites or whatever digital solutions they have in the market. So be up to date with those experience and those kind of solutioning which are being given. This is majorly for the experienced designers. And if we talk about the very hot topic now, which is the AI, um, Chat GPT started with Chat GPT. Yeah, make AI your best friend.
Okay.
That will help, like in the current scenario, that is one thing which will strengthen your profile actually.
That's really nice. Thank you so much for that. Is there any advice you would like to give for the freshers or designers planning to start their career in Dubai?
Career in Dubai. Okay. I'll just say not like Dubai market, but this is majorly for every fresher who wants to start. Is focus less on trends and tools and more on understanding the system, more on understanding the real world constraints and not the end part of it, but the starting phase of your design process. Don't just run behind what's going on because not every trend fits on every domain.
Yes.
Whatever your Netflix is offering, the UI will not fit to a healthcare industry. So just like keep your calm there and don't focus on that. First understand your client and then think of the solution. Just don't go with the trend flow and because that trend just go you have to stay there.
Okay. So you were talking about the AI, like the freshers should be up to date with the AI as well. So I'll ask some questions related to the AI. How's the AI changing the role for the UI UX designers?
Like there was this whole buzz because even so after 10 years of my career as I mentioned you earlier, when I entered the industry, UI UX was booming, and
Yes.
that was the time when industries were understanding how important having a UX or UI designer with them, and it's how it is different from the developers. Now after 10 years, now this AI came into picture, and what I learned is experience of fresher make a your best friend
Yeah.
or a companion because I personally feel AI will assist. It's a good assistant but not a replacer for
Yes.
sure. It will cut down, it can cut down a little bit in for example, if there are 10 designers, so we can have 8 whose job will be done by AI, not like they will design, but the designers who know how to use AI properly because it's it's helping in cutting short your time now. Big for example, the research, if I know how to prompt it correctly, like close ended prompts, if I give to AI, I don't have to go on multiple books and reading. The AI giving me the research, the AI is helping me that. So it's like stepping into 10 places. AI is helping me to just do it in a very short time. So in that way, AI is really, really helpful. And I mean, we should accept the fact it is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. So just make your best friend. And if you know how to use the platforms nicely, you are here to stay. If no, then only you are replaceable. Don't be afraid. Just be updated with the tools.
Thank you so much for that. Okay, which AI tools should UI UX designers start learning or experimenting with?
So it's a tricky question in a way because after we got introduced by ChatGPT, there were many other platforms came into pictures, and every now and then, even I'm exploring, and I am getting to know by YouTube advertisement that okay, now this is this platform for this is for video editing. So there are many. Now it's on you which one you pick and which works best for you. There's one with Fig GPT. It's a combination of design tool and chat GPT. It's a good combination. Then Claude is one which is good and it's been used by designers. Then there are a couple of others AI tools which or platforms which are available now. So there are endless now, if I say, because every now and then we are being introduced through advertisements or through our friends, etc. Few are good with resume building, few with documentation, there are few with image editing, and there are few which will help in research. So it completely depends upon that person how they use it. There are very specific example. There is Midjourney, which is good for image creation. Then there is I think the Magnific similar name, which is good for portfolio creation. Uh, many other. So there's no must have for UX designer. I don't think so because if I'd say one name, there will be 10 other names which will be for the same thing. Of course, as I said, like for example, Midjourney, it is good for image creation. So now people can create new images, whatever they visualize. AI is your best friend. So you have to visualize, give the correct prompt, and use these as the tool or a helper. So I'm very comfortable with ChatGPT, not using it as Google. It's not Google, it's more than that. So give correct close-ended prompts,
Right.
learn how to prompt, and yeah, take best of these tools.
Yeah, that's really nice. Thank you so much for the valuable answer. So now we'll do a rapid fire round. Quick
Sure.
answers,
Mhm.
no overthinking. Okay, so I'll ask you 4 or 5 questions. You can answer whatever you feel like. Okay. So pixel perfect UI or close enough, ship it.
Ship it and then solve it. Ship
Okay.
it and then solve it.
Okay. For example, client wants 5 colors and 6 fonts. Do you fight or cry quietly?
I will fight.
Okay. AI tools in design, best teammate or future replacement.
Best teammate.
Client feedback at 11 p.m., reply or pretend you are asleep.
Avoiding the exceptions, just please reply the next day.
Okay. Okay. One UI UX trend you secretly hate but still use.
There are many designers who will kill me, but I just don't like, not in the favor of dark theme or those
Okay.
dark patterns.
I
No.
also love dark theme, by the way. Okay. Actually, that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for sharing your journey and insights. This was incredibly valuable, especially for anyone trying to break into UI UX design. Thank you so much, Sakshi, for joining us today. It was
Thank
amazing
you.
experience, to learn from you.
Same here, Priyanka. Thanks for having me.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with someone who is exploring a career in tech or design. This is Priyanka, and you're listening to Priyanka On Air, where we talk about tech, careers, and everything in between. See you in the next episode. Thank you for joining us today.